Hello and welcome to today's workout. I'm Nicola and I'm going to be your instructor today. I'll be taking you through a mostly standing Pilates workout with quite a bit of strength incorporated into it, so a bit of a mixture of strength and Pilates. We'll be using some bands. I might incorporate the weight, I'll just see how I feel. If you have bands and a light weight, that would be great. If you don't, then you can do this completely fine with body weight. We'll think about now going into a warm-up, so standing with your feet hip distance apart, your shoulders, hips, knees and toes aligned. Roll the shoulders up, back and down. I would like you to think about your spine being neutral. So if you imagine that you are tipping a bucket of water forwards and backwards, or a bucket of sand, whatever you want it to be, and it's spilling out of the front and then spilling out of the back, I want you to then bring that into a position where you would no longer feel that that was going to spill and overturn, and that would be our neutral spine. I want you to keep your shoulders back and down, head lifted nice and tall, chin parallel to the floor, ears away from the shoulders. Our breathing today, we're going to breathe in through the nose and out through pursed lips, so you should feel your chest expanding as you breathe in and out. So also today we'll think about engaging our core. We want to engage those muscles in the pelvic floor to about 30%, and also the muscles in the abdominal area to about 30% also. So think about drawing the navel in towards the spine to about 30% engagement. It would be possible for us to do that with it fully 100% engaged. We wouldn't be able to breathe and it would make it quite difficult to carry out the movements. So without further ado, let's get started in the warm-up of rolling the shoulders back and down, the knees are soft. So music-free workout today, mainly because due to house move, a lot of my equipment was packed away, so we need to get that all back out, rigged up again. Let's take that forward, breathing in as you take the shoulders up and out as they come down. 4 more, 3, 2 and 1. Let's tilt and nod the head towards the chest, keep it nice and long in the neck. Make sure there's space between the ears and the shoulders still, so I'm not hunching those shoulders upwards. Keep them down and relax. Chest is lifted. And 1 more. Now, taking the head back to centre, we're going to tilt the head and look in one direction, slowly take it back, tilt it, take it back. Breathe out as you tilt and inhale as you take it back to centre. Couple more. And then let's take it into a gentle circle. Again, keeping the shoulders away from the ears as you do this. The shoulders should always be relaxed and down. Remember to engage your core. This will help with your balance. And take that head gently back to centre. Really important when we're working the muscles in our neck and mobilising all the joints in this area, that we're doing everything slowly and with control, not rushing things too much, or that might lead to an injury. Right, so we're going to retract and protect the shoulder blade area, the scapula. So I want you to reach forward with the hands whilst simultaneously pulling back with your shoulders in the opposite direction. So hands are going one direction, then the shoulder blades are pulling back against this, and then take that forward and release the shoulder blades. Do that again. Show you that from the side. And then release. 2 more times. Inhale, don't forget to breathe. And exhale. We're going to take the arms into a frontal raise. Now you can just do this without band, or you can take a light band at the moment. Nothing too heavy, nothing too high in terms of resistance. So we'll do it a few times without band. Just taking the arms into a frontal raise up to shoulder height, and then take that, if your chest is not fluting and not moving about too much, take that up above the head in line with your shoulders. Try to not come back behind the head at all. Now I'm going to take one of my lighter bands. For me, my red are the lightest, but depending on where you get your bands, it's going to be different for everybody. So at the moment, not too much resistance. Just mainly focusing on the alignment of the shoulders with the bands at the moment. And then this time as we go up, I want you to cool down into a fly and then lower, take that up into a lateral raise down at the bottom. Take that up again and fly the arms, and then at the bottom, lateral raise. Take that down into a pull and up into raise. Down into a pull, up. A few more times. So this is really warming up your shoulders, the back. A few more times. Now you can equally do this without the bands, like so. If you don't have the bands, you're just taking the arms in and out. A couple more times. And the last one. I think I'll keep hold of my bands just now. I'm just going to double it over as I go into squat. Make it shorter. So going into squat, I'm going to take my feet slightly wider than hip distance apart, turn the knees and toes slightly outwards towards the corners of the room. And we're just going to take it down. Keep the chest lifted and up, the shoulders back and down. We're inhaling as we lower, exhaling as we raise. Goodness me, just heard a creak there. It's a bit ominous. And these are the reasons why we mobilise our body before we work out. To avoid any injuries, to warm up those muscles, improve your flexibility. And then in the main workout, we're working on strength and then continuing to work on our mobility and flexibility and our balance. One more. Right, so this time, as I squat, I'm going to take it into a chest press type of movement. So I'm going to come in and then out. Down, pull, and raise. Down, pull, and raise. So we're beginning to incorporate the quads, the glutes into this move as we hold that position momentarily, as well as getting a little bit of work and warming up the shoulders. Okay, now we're going to take it into a lunge. I'm going to put my band down for this. Take the feet out wider now. I want you to lunge from side to side. So to begin with, just taking it into a gentle lunge. And then start to reach downwards towards the mat. And then see if you can actually touch the mat. And then begin to extend that to see if you can touch your opposite hand to the opposite foot or ankle, whatever's comfortable. Now, taking that and slowing that down, doing it with a little bit more purpose, I want you to lunge, aim for the ankle and the opposite foot, and the other arm comes out behind. Take it back to centre, and repeat to the other side. Slowing it down slightly. Two more. And the last one. Great, taking your feet back to hip distance apart. I want you to really think about centering your weight in this exercise. We're going to take it into a leg sweep. We're going to point forward and sweep, flex as we sweep back behind. Okay, so taking your weight to the centre so that you're not putting too much weight just only onto the supporting leg. Try to centre that weight, otherwise you may just start to wobble like I was there. Point and flex, don't worry too much about the point and flexing. And one more, and then switch. Make sure you're stable. Take this heel up, point the toe out in front, or the foot I should say, not just the toe, and let's sweep the leg. Try to stay stable as much as you can throughout the upper body. Just letting that movement hinge from the hips. Try to keep the hips forward as much as possible and facing the front. I know it's tricky. Keeping those shoulders back and down. And last one. I think I did far more on that leg than I did on this one. We'll take it into circles now, mini circles. So taking again, coming up and taking the heel off the floor, you're going to point that foot out in front and we're going to circle the leg. Little circles. And then switch direction. So if you engage the core, while you're doing these balancing movements, let's switch to the other leg. When the heel comes up, it's a view and point and circle. Engaging the core really helps with balance. Last one. Take the hands out to the side and bring that foot back to centre. So we're going to come into some balance now. Taking either your hands on the hips or your hands out wide, we're going to just take the knees up. Again, we'll think about centering the weight. Just a few more. The last one, and then take your band if you have one. If you don't have a band, then just take the arms out in front of you in a Cossack position. And we're going to take the knee up and then rotate to get a nice spinal rotation in the warm-up. It's really important that we warm up the spine in all directions. And a couple more each way. Last one on this side and last one on this side. Take it back. Take the arms overhead and we're going to just take that into a lateral bend in each direction. I'm not putting too much pressure or resistance on the band, just enough that I can feel a slight engagement. And then I'm going to take that band, make it longer again. I'm going to take it overhead and I'm going to pull down with one arm, down with the other. And then I'm going to take that into just a reach. And two more. One and two. Now taking the band out in front of you again. We're going to take that into open and closing the door. So I think I'm going to make that a little bit longer for that. So taking the hands out at chest height, you're going to take one arm back and follow that hand with the eyes and then bring it back to centre. Do that with the other arm, bring it back to centre. So when it comes back to centre and your arms are out in line with your chest, you're going to have a slight dip in the band at that point, but don't worry, you're going to feel that resistance as you take it back. Exhale as you take it back. Inhale as it returns to centre. Last time. Last thing we're going to warm up is our heels and toes and balls of our feet. So you don't need a band for this, you can do it with or without a band. I'm just taking it into heel raises. You can take the arms up, sweep them up beside you if you want to. You can begin to sweep them overhead. And if you want to include the band in this, you can. So we could include the band in just a raise. Or we could include the band by taking it down and pulling it down behind. Into a pull. Right, brilliant. So let's get started then with the main section of the workout. The first exercise we're going to do is going to be for the abdominals, working your core. It's just going to be body weight only, no resistance bands or weights at the moment, but you could absolutely take a small dumbbell and use that. It's going to just be a crunch and pull. So we're going to focus on keeping the hands up above the head in front of the body and pulling and crunching. So just a nice gentle one to begin with. Let's go. Exhale as you pull. Focus on your balance also in this. 10 more. Four more. Absolutely focusing on those knees up. Last one. Those knees up towards the chest in that exercise. So now we're going to take it into initially another body weight exercise, and then we're going to add in our bands, the resistance bands afterwards. So this move is going to focus on working the obliques. It's going to be a crunch, an oblique, crunch, and then a squat, and back up, and then repeat to the other side. Crunch, crunch, squat, and raise. Join in with me now. Crunch, squat, raise. Keep your chest lifted as you do this. Don't let the chest collapse down. Focus on bringing your knee towards the opposite shoulder. And their knees are coming up towards the ribs as high as you can. Rather than thinking about bringing the upper body down, focus on bringing the lower body up. Four more. So I'm alternating which side I start on each time. So it's a bit of a brain workout also, this one. Thinking about your coordination, last one. Now, take your bands into this. I'll take my pink one. Pink one's better. It's not quite my major resistance. It's not my lightest. So it's probably about the second lightest out of the ones that I have here. Yours will depend on your own selection of them. So taking the hands out wide, you are going to put some resistance on the band, and you're going to tap to the outside of the knee and squat, and then pull down behind. Tap, tap, squat with the arms wide, pull down behind. Tap. Join me now. Squat, pull down. So total body involved here. We've got the shoulders, we've got the glutes, the quads, the obliques, and the arms. Squat. So twist, twist, squat, pull down. Now make sure when you're doing that pull down at the end that the neck is still relaxed. Avoid any tension in the neck. Do a couple more. Now you should feel this in the arms also. Take that band right to the front. Right. The next exercise we're going to do is also going to be for the working this area, the upper body, and we're going to be working again with the abdominals, and we're going to think about the obliques in this exercise also. So I think we are going to begin with using a longer band. Now, as long as the band is long enough to stretch overhead, all the way overhead whilst being firmly kept under the foot, then that's fine. It doesn't need to be as long as my band. Your band can be just long enough to come overhead, like so. And then in this exercise, you're going to take your weight over the centre again. However, you're going to be balancing on a supporting leg, and then this other leg is just going to tap the floor. You're going to take the arm overhead so that we get a nice oblique crunch, and then you're going to crunch down. So, and try to avoid knocking yourself in the face with your band. Join me now. So, exhale as you crunch. Keep going. You can do it. 4 more. And last one. We'll switch that to the other side. And then just make sure that that band is firmly under your foot. The other band, just the other end of the band, is either under the foot or just held loosely in the other hand. Again, centering your weight, you're going to support yourself with the other leg. The other foot comes out to the side and it's just going to tap the floor. You could even see, let's go, if you can do this without touching the floor, so just floating the foot. That's really going to challenge your fast twitch muscles, working on your balance. I've completely lost count now. I think we'll do 8 more. 4 more. 3, 2, the last one. Right, lots of other exercises that we could incorporate with the bands. However, I'm going to be uploading lots of more standing Pilates workouts and standing resistance band workouts, so we'll leave some of the other ones for another time. Let's now go into, where is it, my pink band? Let's go into the lower body. So I think to begin with, I'm going to put my small band. Now you can either use a smaller band if you have one, or you can simply take one of these and you can tie a knot on it. Okay, just make sure that you tie it twice so that it doesn't go flying off. So maybe just put around the legs and then a little double knot. Okay. So, or if you have a really long one, you could loop it twice, to 2 or 3 times until it's to the size that you need it. So we're just going to go into some squats. We already did some of those in the workout, in the warm-up. So taking the feet towards the corners of the room, just slightly outturned, not too far. We're going to keep the knees tracking in line with the toes, and you're going to take yourself back into the squat with the chest up, and then rise. Now you might want to keep your hands up here, or you might want to bring them out in front. I think everybody has their favourite way of doing a squat. There is no right and wrong, and it's body weight, and you're not incorporating anything else. As you lower, imagine you're sitting down in a seat. You're inhaling as you lower, exhaling and squeezing the glutes as you rise. You keep the chest lifted, engage the core to really make the most of this. Squeeze at the top. Now I'm going to take in my band and just going to incorporate that a few times to get used to having the band. And then we're going to take it into a lateral raise with the leg. So into hip abduction. We're going to squat, come up, raise that down. Just now I'm going to just keep my arms out of it, and then we're going to add the arms in. Squat, come up, raise, down. Squat, come up, raise, and down. So as you raise in the abduction, the legs are facing forward. You're not turning the legs out. The hips should be facing forward. And then you're going to really work your glutes. So we don't want to turn those legs in any way into any kind of a plie position at the moment. Right, now we're going to add in, make it more fluid, and we're going to add in a fly. Sorry, apologies, we're going to add in a raise even. So we're going to add in that raise as you raise. So taking it into a lateral raise, making this a full body exercise. 3 more. And last one. And take that down. Right. Now, to focus on the glute, we are going to, actually we'll focus on inner thighs first before the glute. So, taking the feet wide into a second position, just wider than it. Toes again, facing the corners. We're going to take it into a plie squat. So at the moment I'm just going to be loosely holding my band as we squat down. Take the arms up, keep the shoulders relaxed, back and down, neck's long. Try to avoid looking down at the floor. Engage your core. Inhale as you lower, exhale as you raise. Now, we can now incorporate the band. Now that we've got that movement, so put the band underneath the foot. Make sure that it's not going to move. Find your resistance, the one that works for you. It might be a bit of trial and error, and you're going to take it into a lateral raise. You could actually keep the other arm out of it just now, because you are going to be working that after. If it helps you in any way to incorporate the other arm in, even at body weight, then you can do that. But it's fine to just have that one resting or out here just now, giving it a break. Two more. Right, now this time you're going to come up, take the heel up, come onto the ball of the foot. So we'll put the weight, the resistance band underneath the ball of the foot. You might need to adjust your position a little bit. And we're going to pulse, pulse. So pulsing, working your inner thigh, and we're also working the delts. I'm actually going to lose a little bit of the tension on that. 8 more. 4. And 1. Okay, switching to the other side. You're going to put the band underneath the foot, as before. The feet are at 45. And find your ideal resistance for you. And we're going to just take it into a plie. So plie squat, really effective for working the inner thighs. You could obviously add a band around the legs whilst doing this. I feel that this is enough for me. 2 more. And then we'll do the same thing, we'll pulse it on this side. So just adjust your band, kind of onto the ball of the foot, find your position again, and we're going to just pulse. So these little pulses are really effective. 8 more. Last 2 and 1. Bring that down. So we're going to go into some glute work now, and I'm just going to tie that in a little double knot, and I'm going to take it maybe a few inches above the ankle. Okay, so for this exercise, you're going to be taking the weight forward onto the supporting leg and taking the other leg out behind you with the toe just in contact with the mat. And then taking the weight forward, take the shoulders back and down. We're going to focus on just raising and lowering. So if you can feel that resistance, you actually shouldn't be able to raise very far, because depending on the strength of your resistance band, you may just be able to do a little move like me. If I'd chosen a leg band, I could have probably had far more flexibility. And then I'm going to keep it up and I'm going to pulse. 4 more. And then I'm going to switch and do that on the other side. So, taking the weight forward onto the other leg, take the shoulders back and down, hands on the hips, or if you prefer to have your hands out in any other position that helps you to balance, then please feel free to do so. And we're going to just raise and tap. Maybe 4 more. If you engage your core, that's going to help you to balance. Then we'll take it up and we'll pulse. 4 more. And go on, take it down. So, now we're going to go into a cool down. So we're going to go into an all standing cool down also. Just thought it'd be nice to not be doing any lying down today. So we're going to cool down and take that body back to the nice relaxed state it was, and then a little bit of mobility at the end. Okay, so we're going to take the feet wide and we're just going to come down. We're going to first of all, we're actually going to stretch up and lengthen so you can really feel your torso lengthening. Then you're going to come forward and then take the body down towards the mat. Now you see his hands can touch the mat. It's not important for them to be flat on the mat, just wherever's comfortable for you, and let the head hang loose. You might want to have bend in the knees, you don't want to have your legs completely rigid. And then walk the hands over towards one side, so you feel a stretch in the hamstrings in this leg. Walk them back to centre, and then to the other side. Just walk your feet in. So roll up. We'll take it into a quad stretch now. So take the foot behind you and then arm out for balance. It's a bit of a changeable day today. You can probably see, I think there's some shadows being cast on my walls at the moment. The weather's quite stormy outside and changeable weather conditions just now here in Scotland where I am. And then we're going to take that into a standing glute stretch. So what to do is take this foot up, if you're able to, and then place the foot across the knee. Now, that's okay to stay here. If you want more of a stretch, then you can sink down and you'll feel the stretch across the outside of your glute. And then take that foot back to the mat, switch and do the same thing on the other side. So if you want to help yourself to take the foot up, do so the foot comes up above the knee joint. Please avoid, if you're not able to take it up above the knee joint, then just take it underneath, but not actually on the joint. And I'm just going to bend down for more of a stretch. Okay, another way you could stretch that out would be to take the foot behind into a lunge and then tilt forward, and you'll feel the stretch here. Okay, so we're going to take it into a calf stretch. So take one foot out behind and we're going to stretch out the shoulders, the back, which we have worked. We've definitely worked our shoulders, our arms and back, alongside some of the lower body exercises. And switch. So the other foot comes out, behind, This time roll the shoulders back and down, and chin is lifted, head's lifted, and we're stretching out across the chest. Let's take it into shoulder stretch, so stretching out the delts. We're going to take the arm across the body and avoid pulling on any joints, so make sure that where you're taking your hand is below or above the elbow. Swap, do the same on the other side. And then stretch the arm up overhead, take that behind you, and then you can apply some pressure with the other hand to feel that stretch in the tricep. Switch. And take that down. Now we're going to take the feet wide, take it into some circles, and the other way. And twist. And that's the end of today's workout. So thank you very much for joining me today with the workout. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, please give it a like. And also if you want to make sure that you don't miss any of my workouts coming up, then please subscribe. Thanks very much.